Welcome back to part 2 and the conclusion. After the fifth one, 20th Century Fox decided to reboot the Planet of the Apes movies back in the 1980s. The project bounced around for some time until they got Tim Burton to direct. The first Planet of the Apes reboot was made back in 2001. Although it was called Planet of the Apes, it has little to do with the book of the same name. In this version, an Air Force astronaut named Leo, played by Mark Wahlberg, trains monkeys to do space missions. But after his monkey gets caught in an electromagnetic storm, he goes after his monkey but gets caught in an electromagnetic storm as well. He crash lands on a planet that are dominated by apes and humans are their slaves. Planet of the Apes by Tim Burton is an interesting take on an iconic franchise, but it received mixed reviews and had average box office success. The reason why, well, according to Mark Wahlberg, is that the studio rushed it into production, so that's why Planet of the Apes didn't turn out right. Speaking of which, Mark Wahlberg was alright as the main character, but there was nothing really special beyond that. His love interest is Dana, played by Estella Warren, who despite her solid screen time isn't given much character development either. I personally remember her from Kangaroo Jack, which also came out during the early 2000s. The only characters who stand out are the apes. Helena Bonham Carter and Paul Giamatti are some of the ape characters who were more memorable. I don't know, maybe it was because they had great makeup. Michael Clark Duncan got injured on set and he had to go to the hospital in full makeup. Out of all the apes and the characters, the one that easily stands out is General Thade, played by Tim Roth. He always acts pissed off and he never seems to let up. One standout moment is when he pries open Leo's mouth.
Is there a soul in there?
Another thing that made this Planet of the Apes movie stand out is that the apes move more ape-like and they can jump very far. Overall, Planet of the Apes is a movie that I liked more as a kid, but not so much now. Before I give my rating, I would like to point out that a couple of actors from the 1968 version have cameos in this one. Linda Harrelson plays a slave woman, and Charles Heston plays General Thade's father.
Damn them. Damn them all to hell.
I give the 2001 version of Planet of the Apes 2 stars out of 4. As we all know, this movie never got a sequel. In an interview where someone asked Tim Burton if he would like to do another Planet of the Apes movie, he said that I would rather jump out of a window. But franchises never stay dead in this age of countless reboots. Another Planet of the Apes reboot went into the works by 2006. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is about Dr. William Rodman, played by James Franco, is looking for a cure for Alzheimer's. He experiments on a chimp named Caesar, and as time goes by, Caesar gets smarter and smarter every day. But then when there's a misunderstanding, Caesar is taken to a primate shelter where he's treated badly. He gets his hands on the drug that made him smart, gives it to the other apes, and leads an uprising. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was not only successful box office wise, but it was well received from critics. I do think it's better than the Tim Burton one, but I don't think it's largely better. Unlike the other movies where they brought them to life by makeup, this one brings the apes to life with CGI. The CGI apes are a mixed bag. Sometimes they look real, but other times they look fake. The actor who did motion capture for Caesar was Andy Serkis, who did the motion capture for Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies and King Kong in the 2005 remake. I think the moment that we all remembered was when Caesar spoke for the first time.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
No!
Aside from the apes, the human characters are not bad either, but the one big plot hole in this one was during the bridge scene. Why did they all fight the cops? All they had to do was just swing underneath the bridge. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a better reboot than the one from 10 years prior, but not by much. Also, this wouldn't be the last time that James Franco would interact with an ape. I give Rise of the Planet of the Apes 2.5 stars out of 4. Now we have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I know it would have been stupid if they would have called it Rise of the Planet of the Apes 2, but there are way too many movies now that don't use 2 or 3 when it's a sequel. The human race is near extinction from a deadly virus, and the apes from the last movie that were evolved have their own tribe now. The apes live near an abandoned dam, and a colony of humans living in San Francisco asks Caesar if they can use it to power their city. But an ape named Kobo lets what humans did to him in the past get the best of him, and tricks the other apes to go to war with the other colony of humans. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is definitely better than the last one. Not only did it have good action, but very well done character development and drama. Sure, the first hour was a little boring, but it got better and better throughout. One big improvement was the CGI apes, and they look more real looking this time around. The ape character Kobo was what this movie series really needed, a good villain, and the best since General Thade. With the humans, they were all good, especially Gary Oldman's colony leader Dreyfus. When the power came back on, he was able to look at pictures of his family for the first time in years. This was definitely a huge pinnacle moment for how the movie had more emotional investment than most other blockbuster movies now. Although I am mixed about the ending, this is one sequel that's better than the first one. I give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 3 stars out of 4.